Hello everyone, we are here for Bijan Borbor's speech. We got a crowd among us today. We got his friends over here, and then my mom and my grandmother. Let's get this thing underway, Bijan.
Okay, my speech for this discussion is Juvenile Drug Abuse Needs More Attention. Presented by Bijan Borbor, myself. Was drug abuse was a warning network, Dawn, study in a representative sample of hospitals throughout the United States. Reports 10 in people seeking emergency department treatment related to illegal drug use or non-medical use of illegal drugs. Primarily in 1994, estimates indicate drug-related emergency department episodes for youth ages 12 to 17 increased by 17% from 93 to 94. Primarily, what I just read, actually. Today, teens start to do drugs because of family issues or relationship breakups sometimes, or to be cool in school. Today's drug issues are problematized because of one, of social media, two, of being in schools because everybody wants to be with the cool kids. They want to do this, be in the post, smoking weed, even doing crack sometimes from seeing stuff on the internet from doing my project. Today, what also is a big problem with drug abuse in teens are breakups. If it's a 1 year or 2 year and they have a lot of problems throughout the breakup and they can't find anything to manage the pain, if they can't go outside or they can't play video games or find something that's nothing harmful or illegal, but a lot of teens these days go to illegal drugs, marijuana, antidepressants, prescription, meds. Also, with teens that have breakup problems, they pretty much abuse prescriptions they'll steal from parents, grandparents, and their friends will see them struggling and they try to get them help, but a lot of them don't want it. But what I'm trying to figure out with the teen drug abuse these days, it's because back then in the 93, what I just read in 94, it wasn't that high back then because people had a lot of things to do. Kids were more socialized. They didn't want to go over to people's houses and just chill and watch movies and everything. Now every day everybody wants to go over, like, example, like if teens are like 14 or 15 and they want to go over to somebody's house and the first thing they're going to ask, do you have weed? Can we get high? And teens shouldn't be getting high at all because it screws up their mental, their schooling. Like in today's world, that with people smoking marijuana, the grades are dropping severely and they actually end up getting more depressed. Weed is the most common drug used amongst teens these days because people don't care about it as much as they did years ago. In many states, it is legal, and I think that is why many look the other way. Source: the Teen Addiction Center. Like I just wrote, just talked about, they didn't care about it much years ago because it really wasn't big back then on teens because everybody had stuff to do, after school sports, clubs. Now everybody wants to go home and get high, which is really sad in today's world. The stats of teen drug uses over the years from 1975 to 2005, you can see drugs actually started to drop. Then they started to go up just a little bit during the beginning of the 2000 years. Then we go to 2005 to 2015. You can see it started to drop a little bit, but then it started to rise again, and then it actually started going up because a lot of teens are being helped by parents or friends because somebody sees somebody using drugs. And if it's more than a week, actually shouldn't even do it at all, but when they see their friend struggling, they contact the parent, legal guardian, or their teacher, and that's why the teen addiction is actually starting to drop very slowly here in the United States. Also, with Trump talking about the opioids thing, he signed a bill into effect to ban all the drugs to get in the hands of teens and other people with the opioids, because there's a big problem in the United States with drug abuse from teens to adults. Teens shouldn't use drugs to become cool. Drugs are big issues among teens. Why do you ask? Because kids do drugs and just want to fit in. It's sad to want to be part of something costly just to be cool. Kids are putting their lives and health at risk. If you start doing drugs, it doesn't matter if it's weed, if it's opioids, antidepressant, prescription. If you're an straight A student, you just had a breakup, let's say with the hottest girl. If you're a guy, if you just had the worst breakup, why do you want to turn to drugs? It's not worth it. Why throw yourself away because of a certain someone or to fit in with the cool crowd? You know, like they see in movies, smoke weed, it'll be okay. Technically, it's not. If you start smoking weed, it becomes an addiction. It actually messes up your brain cells, and you lose, your IQ actually starts to drop the more you smoke. So, the drug abuse among kids these days is skyrocketing. They're pressured into smoking weed was by their friends. Peer pressure gets to them as they smoke it. Once they try marijuana, kids will often try other drugs. Other known drug that is on the rise is crack. What is it? Once they smoke it, it'll become an addict to quickly to be depressed. Crack will cause issues with their life. One is they eat and breathe to smoke. It causes personal money loss to get more. Teen drugs can lead to suicide. That is actually true. Because from what I study a lot of mental health things and drugs on teens because I want to see kids younger than me be more successful in life because of all the problems they're dealing with, if it's leading to bullying or depression or problems at home. If people don't have really good friends, they don't have a good support system, and they can't, if they don't have, let's say, video gaming to pass the time, they'll resort to drugs, and it messes up their mind. They become more depressed. It's like, an example like bullies, it's like, why are people bullying other kids? Because they are the ones really suffering. Why bring all your problems onto one person? It's really pathetic and it's sad. The bullies that do all this are the ones using drugs, and they're the ones that actually need help. Physical health. Injuries are due to accidents such as car accidents, physical disabilities and diseases, and the effects of possible overdoses are among the consequences of teen substance abuse. Teens are getting high and overdosing of a lot of reasons. If they're failing school, breakups, home broke, a lot of things. I don't understand why kids these days have to go into drugs. It's sad, it's depressing. When you have friends that are drug addicts, you try to help them and you try to alert their families, and that you can do so much for them. They have to fix themselves. If teens today could find a way to really just not give in to doing drugs like weed, everybody thinks it's cool. It's not. It messes you up in the long run. And I just want teens to realize, why do drugs when you can successfully be in school, and then you can get your tuition and everything, your scholarship to college if you want to play ball or swimming or anything. Drugs are not the answer, and it's really sad to see people ruining their lives in high school, which is the most of the years that drugs teens get into. They experiment, it's peer pressuring, it's really sad. And if kids were somewhat raised by stronger parents or had a stronger friend unit, and if somebody, as an example, like if I was asked to do weed and I went to my friends, they're like, oh, just do it, you'll be okay. You don't want friends like that. You want friends that will actually give you a support system, that will actually help you and tell you, like, bro, don't do that. Don't like go with that crowd, because you're going to become like them, and then your good friends are going to abandon you, and then they're going to leave you. Okay. Also, many use of drugs. Sport players, they try to fight the pain by popping prescription pills. Then they don't have any pain anymore. They find themselves addicts, and it's disappointing to their parents. They lose friends. They feel like failures. Source: the consequences of youth substance abuse. Substance abuse. I was just watching a quick PSA video earlier today on prescription pills. These program called OK. No, it's OK Incorporated. They go to schools. They show what kids can do if it's from bullying or other problems. But I saw a really good video on prescription pills where she saw her friend taking pills because she knew she had a really bad injury on her foot playing basketball. She couldn't perform well anymore, so she turned to prescription drugs. Then she got help, and it shows if you have a good support system, your friends can help you, and life is better. Why turn to drugs when you have good friends and family support? Always be there for your friends when they are having issues. Don't be afraid to be the parent that checks their kids' personal items. Today's parents don't even check their kids' rooms, their pockets, or anything. It's really sad. Because today's parents are not living up to the expectations of parents of yesteryears or even like my parents. My parents always made sure I was on the right track, always took care of me, always gave me support. And if I was struggling or something, or if they were to find drugs, something like that, I'd be grounded pretty much, or worse. But parents today shouldn't care what their kids' reputation is or anything. They should go through the room, do pretty much like a body check like they do in jails, and make sure their kids are not getting high. Because why do you want to see your son or daughter struggling with their life and going to drugs, and you know they're doing it, but you can't do anything? If you're a parent, step up, go in your kid's room, or their pants, or even their shoes, find the drugs, and take them to rehab and get them better. Why let them get high? It's really pathetic, honestly. And that's the end of my presentation, and now I'll open it for questions.
Right. Nick, very good.
What do you think? What do you think is the best thing that can be done to fight teen drug abuse?
The parents need to step up more. Need more of a backing of the support system. Honestly, if you have your family with you, and the kids shouldn't be hanging out with bad crowds, they should, hang out with good people.
I was watching something interesting on TV one night, and I found that Denmark once had a really big drug problem. And what they did is they started parent contracts with the kids, and the parents and the community also came around to get kids off the street. And the biggest thing they did was infer a curfew at 10 a.m. And they have really restricted their drug use and has plummeted practically because they got their community involved.
Yeah.
So I think what you're saying is exactly that you need to get everyone involved to help the young people before they make these mistakes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's for sure. All the community, their friends and family need to support them.
exactly. Okay.